Very important.
The ability not only to do something from a technical standpoint, but to describe your work in a way that other people who are not so skilled,
Absolutely, yeah.
administrators and that sort of thing,
Yeah.
will be able to understand basically what your skills are and how good you are.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. This is probably, the biggest, I'd say, in a job search, this is one of the best ways to get noticed in your network, is to get out and join professional networks, whether they be on LinkedIn, whether they be on Meetup. You go to meetup.org, I think it is, and heck, my wife found a mommy group on there to go to take our kids, and I found a hiking group. There's all,
There's my coffee group because of Meetup.
There you go. You got all this stuff, and there's a lot of tech stuff out there too. There's a lot of quality stuff, and the Help Desk Institute, obviously ASQ. You're in a targeted environment with your peers, basically. Word of mouth, networking. Hey, I'm looking for a job. Is anybody here have any openings? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm going to do a plug for Women in Technology. That is one of the best groups in Africa for Women in Technology. It's really an exceptional group.
I love that group. My boss Renee, who I think quite a few of you guys know. She's deep. Renee Moy, very deeply involved in it for a long time. They do allow me in. Like I've been to a couple other groups. It's not it's not one of those. But yeah, it's awesome to hear very technically sound women leading businesses and leading groups, and that's one of the best groups. And we actually have I'm the vice president of marketing for our local SQL Server user group as well. It's called PASS, Professional Association of SQL Server Users, and there's actually an offshoot of that's the women of professionals of PASS. And they have their own separate group, and they kind of work alongside our group. But start your own. We did. We have something called the Robert Half Technology Lunch and Learn. Every third Wednesday of the month, we present. We have a professional speaker present a topic on his subject of expertise, whether it be quality, whether it be project management, or this month we have a guy doing Node.js, which is one of these new mobile technologies. So these groups are easy to find, they're easy to be a part of, they're easy to come to. A lot of times they're fun. You get dinner, maybe have some drinks. There's one group, the Albuquerque Web Geeks, and they meet at a different bar, like every Tuesday or every first Tuesday of the month, and they have drinks and they geek out or whatnot. So a lot of these can be fun. So, all right.
I do have a question.
Sure.
My thoughts are. Tell me about people in encore careers. 30-year career retired, going back into the workplace. What is your experience in recruiting with encore careers?
I think that they better serve in like consulting capacities, and I think that they're better utilized in consulting capacities. I think that most of the people that I work with that have retired and are re-entering are only looking for consulting type positions, so it kind of works out. It's non-committal, a couple months. They could be of huge importance. So yeah, I work with folks that are. As a matter of fact, I have a gentleman, a SQL developer that he's been retired for 20 or 30 years, and I use him from time to time for SQL jobs that I get. So yeah, there's definitely a place for him.
I just read a national statistics saying that over 60% of people who have retired are re-entering the workforce.
That's
full
tough.
time.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, there's challenges with when you're older re-entering the workforce, especially if you don't go back to school and get retrained. And it seems as though that they have, even though they bring certain skills and maturity, that it is a slanted away from the older worker toward the younger worker with, especially with recruiting. I just wondered if you had any experiences.
I probably couldn't disagree more.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, time after time and time again, I will hire the person who's best fit for the job. I don't care who you are, what you are, where you're from, what you look like, where you've been. Like, if you're qualified for the job, and I think that the employers that we work with look that way as well. Yeah, it does. And I work with several, older candidates that have rebranded themselves into some of the new web mobile stuff. I placed a gentleman that he came out of retirement from a company called Hawk in Rio Rancho. He retired for a few months, got bored. I just placed him at Genesis Healthcare, which was the old Sun Healthcare, as an agile scrum leader. So, when he retired, he went and got his Scrum certification and got all trained up on Agile and stuff, and, we found a spot for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't...
So is that a strategy that you would suggest to someone who's in an encore profession to go back and retrain?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're not... All you got to do is look at some job postings. Look what people are hiring for. If you don't fit it, and you're seeing a lot of them, then you should probably go retrain. And that goes for anybody. That can be for, we work with a lot of people that are, work on base or work at Intel. Intel's a great example because, they get very siloed, right? They only work in one specific spot. And it's antiquated technologies than what's in demand, right? So, what happens when, Intel Rio Rancho goes bust finally, after, and they've been talking about it for years, right? So what happens to those, 5, 7, 8, 9,000 people that, have been siloed into a certain job for so long? How are they going to re-enter the workforce? They're going to have to rebrand themselves. You're going to have to, find out what those, those in-demand skills are, go figure them out, and get back in there. Start going to those networking groups. Start going to, those boot camps or whatnot.
So along those lines, what do you do with somebody who's a jack of all trades but a master?
I call them Swiss Army knives.
Honestly, that's kind of my career. I've been placed everywhere to do everything.
Yeah, me too. I
can't claim to do that.
Exactly. Go, project management, consulting. Those, because that's what, you're not going to be, an expert in one thing. So, if the network goes down, I'm going to call Tim Hasselbeck, right? That's him, he's a network guy. But if I need, a project managed from a high level, I'm not going to call that guy. I'm going to call a guy that knows a lot about the network and the systems and scalability and the data center and the whole 9 yards, and he's going to manage the whole project. So that's, absolutely. There's places for everybody. You have to sit down, like, in that one slide, and come up with the strategy for yourself. Who am I professionally? What do I want to do? What can I do? How do I get there? What's going to make me get out of bed in the morning? And figure that out. And it could change. A lot of people go. I work with a lot of people that went to school for geography or something like that, and tried it out in the field, and they're working in databases. They liked it. They became a database developer, and now they want to do it professionally. So it's going to change throughout your career. I was a jet mechanic. I've been a project manager. I'm a recruiter now. Like, who knows what I'll be in 5 years? But it's what I'm going to love. So yes.